Good morning to everyone who has already jumped in on the live on YouTube. I'm setting up the Facebook Live and then we'll get started. So I appreciate your patience. Ooh, all right, we are going to get this party started. There we go. I think that is it. Yes, I am recording a video and I'm going live. And so getting ready to have a conversation about financial literacy. And so I am live on YouTube and Facebook. So I am ready to get started. And let me make sure I have my information pulled up that I needed. And we'll get the ball rolling. So today we're talking about financial independence. I was having a few technical difficulties in the beginning, but I am on track now and I'm ready to get the ball rolling. And so it should be a very interesting conversation today. Thank you for my water and for my cup of ice. Got to have that water and cup of ice to get this process, get the ball rolling. So let's see here. All right. So when we talk about financial independence, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about financial independence, what is FI? What is financial independence? And what is financial independence to you? Let's see here. Anybody, what is financial independence to you? Financial independence. What is that? What does that mean to you? See, everyone has a different definition or thought process when it comes to financial independence. Everyone has different feelings when it comes to what financial independence means to them. So, what I'm asking is, what does financial independence mean to you? Okay, we have on YouTube D Nice is being able to not have to work. All right, that's one person's definition of financial independence is being able to not have to work. In other words, being able to wake up in the morning and not necessarily be forced or have to clock in somewhere at a 9 to 5 or whatever times you work. That's one person's definition is they will not be required or have to work. So that's one definition of financial independence. Anyone else have another definition of financial independence? And it's interesting because when we talk about financial independence, um, there's such a range because it can be something as simple as someone has financial independence of for themselves. And so when someone asked, D Nice asked if I trade stocks. I don't do day trading, but I do buy stocks. I do buy shares of companies, D Nice, but I don't do a lot of trading stocks. I actually just posted a video yesterday about some dividend stocks, but it's a small sample size. of dividend stocks. Yes, I invest long term. Yeah, correct, definitely. Uh, and every once in a while, I may do short term, but it has to make sense. And it was kind of, and I'll give an extreme example, and I'll jump back on financial independence. And in talking about financial independence, I am going to be talking about passive income and other creative things that we can do financially to keep money rolling in, and also how to reach our goals that we're trying to reach. But one thing I did do was I invested in that meme coin, Dogecoin, that everyone said not to invest in. D Nice, and basically. Um, I put like $300 in the coin, and well, I invested $300 in Dogecoin, and then no, you're fine. You're perfectly fine, D Nice. And long story short, that $300 became like $20,000, easy, 20,000 plus. And what I did was I pulled the money out. So normally I would hold something for a long time, and years ago, when it would go up in value, I'd probably sell a majority of my shares and then keep some of it, and just keep a few shares just in case. And I did that with another stock. It was back in 2008, 2009. There was like this real estate crash, which ended up causing a stock market crash. And so back then, there were so many different companies you could invest in and make money easy, like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. The government was bailing out different banks. Everything was going under, and so okay, you got about $100 of Shiba and sold it for 700. Nice. See, that's good. But what's interesting? Yeah, it might not be anything like I made, but still to take $100 and flip it to $700, like that's huge. If if you would have took $100 and you would have made $25 off of it, and you would have came back with 125, that's big time. That's good. And so if you would have made 150, but you made 700, so definitely don't discount that. That's huge as well. I'd have been happy with the $700. So you were up 600 profit. So the cool thing is about that is I think long term, and this is I know off subject again, D Nice. I think Sheba eventually is going to go back up. We just have to be patient. And I have a bunch of shares in Sheba, so I'm just sitting back. It's money that I don't need. So anytime you invest in stock, basically I put money in there that doesn't determine whether I breathe, eat, or anything. So it's all extra. And so I'm playing with house money. So I don't worry about it. And I do think definitely 25% is good, especially compared to long-term percentage gains per year, usually like 5 to 8. Exactly. So you did amazing with that. And so even as Doge, when it was going up and down, because at one point it went up to like 70 cents. And tell you something that I don't like to admit, but with Doge, when I got it, it was like a fourth of a penny, right? And anybody who's watching the title of this financial independence, they'll be like, what is he talking about? But it's cool. I'm with you, D Nice. You here, so we rocking for a minute, and then I'll jump back to it. But I bought Dogecoin when it was a fourth of a penny. It wasn't even a penny yet. So that $300 just kept growing, and I saw it. Like I said, I made over 20,000 profit off of it. Um, but at one point, it got to like 70 cents, and what's crazy is at 70 cents, I had to be. I think I was up like $70,000 easy. I was up, and I was showing my friends. I was taking screenshots. Hey, y'all, look at this. And I kept saying, I'm waiting for it to hit a dollar. When it hits a dollar, I'm out of here. I want life changing money. I was on a high. I wish some of my friends and the people I was in the group text with, because they would tell you, I was like, um, I was like, I'm keeping it. I'm holding it. I'm gonna be rich. Blah blah blah, and all this other stuff. And then my two other friends in the group text was like, sell now, get rid of this. And so um, it's funny because I should have listened to them. I mean, I still made well over 20,000 in profit, but if I would have listened to them, I would have easily cleared 70,000 profit. And what's funny is one of them, they jumped in a little late, but they made some money too. I think she made about 10,000, but I don't really give like advice on what to invest in and what not to invest in, because as soon as you tell somebody to invest in something, if it doesn't work, then it's all your fault and you gave them bad advice and all that other stuff. So if somebody's super close to me, and like I said, I knew this person very well, and they understood investing and not, doing too much and investing money they don't need. I knew they understood basic principles. So yeah, people get in their feelings and say, you made me lose my money. And I don't like being a part of that. And I don't like making people lose their money, and I don't want people to blame me. So I try to be very responsible. So it also lets everybody know, exactly, this is not financial advice. Do your homework, do your research. This is for me. Find out what works best for you. And that's why I like the subject of financial independence today, because even though it is July 4th, Independence Day, and anybody who's tuning in and watching this, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this with someone else. When we talk about financial independence, it is extremely important subject, because a lot of people don't know what financial independence is, and you have to find out what financial independence is for you, because for everyone it's different. Some people just want to be financially independent from their parents. They lived in their parents' house for 20 years plus, whatever it is, and now they want to be independent themselves. So if you were to Wikipedia or Google the term financial independence, what comes up is financial independence is the status of having enough income or wealth sufficient to pay one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. And so that's interesting, because that's a decent definition. Oh, Danielle, what up? My people, Danielle. All right. She said, "Hey, Coach, I'll share this." Good, I appreciate that. Definitely share it. And so I appreciate it, D Nice. Please like and subscribe. And so as people are coming in, we're talking about financial independence. I just read a definition of what Wikipedia, or who knows, it's probably AI, came up with, what the definition of financial independence is. See, there we go. Everyone has their different ideas and thought processes of what financial independence is. It can go macro or it can go micro. So this is a good conversation, because when we get down to it, I want to yeah, okay. I'm pretty old, D Nice. I'm old and rusty. How old are you? You tell me how old you are first, and then I tell you how old I am. And I want you to guess too. I want you to guess how old I am, but I just want to let you know I'm up there in age. Danielle says, I want to be financially independent from credit cards. That's my downfall. Oh, man. Interesting. When it comes to credit cards, I do walk a certain line, and it's a strict line. And you're very close, D Nice. I'm actually 44. So very close. Good guess. And you're 26. Man, you're young. So you got all the time in the world to like just build a financial empire. So I like that. That's good for you. I'm excited for you, because knowing what I know now, and of course I can't, but I could go back to the age of 26. Oh man, we'd be having a whole different conversation now. So what's interesting about this is I look forward to seeing your success and your growth financially, D Nice, as we go through this. And so being financially independent from credit cards, this is what I'll say about that, Danielle. And it's two parts to this. I truly believe, and I'm confident, that financial institutions made those plastic cards to allow themselves to get extremely wealthy. They've made credit cards to create certain financial traps for people. And so you have to understand that. And so that's something you have to keep in mind. That's one part of this puzzle, or what we call a quadrant. We have to put that there. Now, with all of that being said, they've done the research, they've done the science, they've done the psychology, that these little rectangular plastic cards that they give us are a financial trap that helps the bank become richer. How do we know this? The bank never creates something or an opportunity for the consumer to become wealthy and they become poor. They don't do things to allow themselves to lose money. I like the subject of credit cards. This is good. Oh my gosh. You and D Nice got me all over the place, but I like this because we're talking about financial independence. D Nice is talking about crypto, but it's my fault because I brought up crypto, so I can't blame it completely on D Nice. And you're talking about being financially independent from credit cards. And so when we talk about this subject, these credit cards can be your worst enemy. And like D Nice is saying, the interest rates they have on credit cards are 100% criminal. It's too easy for people to get too sucked into like a sinkhole. Correct. And so I always tell everyone, if possible, stay away from using credit cards. There are people who are taking huge risk, whether it's money from credit cards or money from line of credit. They're taking that money and they're investing it into investment platforms, into real estate. And then when things don't go well, there's no money to pay that back. There's not cash flow or passive income to save them from those situations they find themselves in. And so, if possible, I say stay away from credit cards unless you understand the credit card game, the pros and cons, and how to maneuver in a mature way and with discipline using a card. And so there are some people that maneuver and use credit cards to their advantage and they use extreme discipline. There are some people, if they use a credit card, what they do is the next day or the next 2 days, whenever it shows up on their credit, and when they log in online and they can pay that card off, they will pay it off immediately as soon as possible. And then there's some people they're still disciplined, and what they do is before that charge date, before that credit card company can charge you any interest on the balance, they will pay the credit card off early each month so that the balance is at zero before that charge date. Before they can look at your balance and find out what the balance amount is, they just pay it off on time every single month before that charge date. So it's basically same as cash, but also, yes, I will do a video on credit cards and how to use them to your benefits as well. And so they do it same as cash. And with that, there's a lot of benefits to it because certain credit card companies do offer advertisements. And Danielle, this kind of goes back to what you're talking about in on the subject. And so I like credit cards. I said I like credit cards. I don't like them. I like the benefits of credit cards because I have extreme discipline when using them. I'll put it that way. So those credit card companies give you, yeah, we got four here now. We deep. And so what's funny is D Nice. All I need is one person who'd be willing to listen. And honestly, if nobody listened at all, I would still do this because I love the conversation of it. And eventually somebody's going to jump on it and listen to it anyway. So I definitely appreciate at least four people in there having that conversation on YouTube. If you're on Facebook watching, YouTube is having a ball over here in the group chat, on the live chat on YouTube. So anybody who's tuning in, like, subscribe, comment, share this information. When it comes to the benefits of a credit card, I don't have many on Facebook right now, I don't think, but I'm not the best in the world when it comes to technology. So people could be tuning in on Facebook and I just don't know it. So I'm just not sure, but I don't think anybody's watching. If you are on Facebook, say something so you can prove me wrong and I'll know. But the benefits of credit cards, they have point rewards, cashback rewards, or potentially even mileage points that you can get as well. And so when it comes to those different benefits of the credit cards, I like all of those, and I've taken advantage of all of those, whether it's cashback rewards. I love hotel points. That's what I really like. So when I travel, because of the way I use a credit card, pay it off before there's a balance on it, before there's a charge date. So I rack up all of these hotel reward points. So when I travel, I don't pay for hotels. And so that's the benefit of it. So I use a credit card to put more money back in my pocket, but they dangle all of those things out there, Danielle, whether it's the cashback rewards or another thing they do, 0% interest for 15 months, 0% interest for 2 years. they do dangle that because they have to lure us in. And I know my friend Reggie, he might be tuning in. Reggie likes fishing. And so that's what those credit card companies do, financial institutions. They'll go fishing, they'll put the 0% interest on the bait and a few other enticing things to reel you in to get that credit card. And then we say, oh, I have plenty of time to pay it back. And then life happens, and now you don't have financial independence. So, financial independence for some people is getting rid of all of their debt, getting rid of any debt, consumer debt, your mortgage debt. And that helps some people feel like they are financially independent. And so, everyone has these different levels of financial independence that they feel. And for me, I think my definition of financial independence is similar to what D Nice wrote earlier about not necessarily having to work a 9 to 5 or clock in. I do like the idea of passive income. For some people, they will feel financially independent, but they still want to work. And I don't think, I don't know if you know, if we're talking about the same Reggie. What Reggie you talking about? What's Reggie's last name? Uh, Unless I said it out loud already. But anyway, so when we talk about financial independence, um, no, it's a different Reggie. This is a different Reggie. This is a Reggie Allen. And so when we talk about financial independence, some people are financially independent, but they still desire to work. So when I talk about the subject of retirement, I think it's cool and a great idea to retire, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with retiring and finding a hobby, retiring and traveling and staying active, or even working, having other work that you do, volunteer work and things like that. So when we talk about financial independence, it can be to the point to where you have passive income and you have so much passive income that you do not have to clock in and you have enough means to take care of every situation that you have. And so, what you have to find out is what are your goals when it comes to financial independence? What are your personal goals? Those are the things that you should be thinking in your head right now. What are your personal goals? What are the things that you want to accomplish? Financial independence, what are your goals? And we're going to see how all of that ties in together. We talked about financial independence. We talked about what it means to you, but then what are your goals? Like, why do you want to be financially independent? Like, what is your why? What are the things that you're passionate about? What are the things you want to accomplish? I want to be free of all of these credit cards. So now I no longer have to pay all of these credit cards. And then now what? You're going to have the extra money. So, what are your goals to be financially free? Danielle says that's how these credit cards get you with acquiring points for hotels and traveling credits. Yes, those are the carrots that they dangle in front of us to get us to dive at these credit cards and get people to fall into the trap. Okay, D Nice says he got kids. I got kids too. I want to be able to not to have to worry about money at all, to be honest. Ah, okay. Well, that's a good goal. Okay, so when you think about your goals and your bigger why, you have kids, you want to be able to take care of your kids, you want to be able to do nice things for them so that you don't have to struggle in that process of doing those things for them and that certain things just come smooth for them. The kids have certain goals and things that they'll want to do. They may want to be involved in activities, they may end up playing sports, travel, and as a parent, you're going to need funds. And depending on how old your kids are, you may need money for diapers and whatever else that comes along with it. Daycare is no joke. When my kids were younger, daycare was super expensive. And I can't even imagine what it is now. It's probably out of here. I think I'd have to definitely hire a personal babysitter, maybe at a lower price. So yeah, for kids, that's one goal. Anybody else? Danielle says, I want to be able to retire and still have a comfortable nest egg for traveling and emergencies. I know Danielle definitely wants to have a nest egg for traveling, for sure. And so you're going to need one. You definitely need a nest egg. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like financially independent, being able to retire and sit back. Like when you think about it all, you don't want to just retire and sit in a chair all day. You're still going to want to be active and do things. So when you have those certain goals of financial independence, those numbers, those marks you want to reach, you have to develop a plan. You have to develop a strategy to get there. And so Danielle says, I have less than 10 years until I reach retirement age. What are you talking about, Danielle? You're only like 35. So being age 35 to 45, well, I don't know. Maybe you plan on retiring at 45, Danielle. So who knows? And so D Nice says, I'm trying to make like 250 a year. To be honest, that would be more than enough. I'm nowhere near that, of course. You know what's interesting? When you talk about being financially independent, D Nice, we might not be near it, but at the same time, you might not be that far away. Sounds crazy, but you could be potentially one deal, one idea, one partnership away from that number, but you don't realize how close you are. And once again, it comes with getting the knowledge, getting the information, and understanding what it takes. When I talk about your goals, you want like 1 million worth of dividend stocks and have those pay my yearly bills. And that's exactly why I did that dividend stock video. I did a 19, 20-minute video on dividend stocks, and I used the platform M1 Finance. And so one thing, the reason why I did that, and when you go click on that video and watch it when this is over, you're going to see that in that dividend stock video, it's probably like $5,000 in there right now. And what I did is I'm showing an example of if you consistently put a certain amount of money into your dividend stocks, that your dividend stocks, those stocks are going to give you dividends. You can take those dividends, reinvest them. And when you reinvest that money back into those stocks, your dividends are going to get larger and larger. Meanwhile, the value of those stocks, the value of that company is going to continue to increase. And so you're going to make money two ways with dividend stocks. Bingo. That's where I'm getting to, D Nice. My long story short, I'm trying to get you at 26 years old to go ahead. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $20, or the example I used in my video, the $25 example. Compound interest is a monster. So when you watch that dividend stock video on YouTube, you're going to see that I put $25 a month into this dividend stock, and I made a pie chart, this portfolio. And in that pie chart, Jordan, it says he's out at camp. I know you are with 4-H, but no service or sound right now, but hope it's a good stream. Yeah, we're having a ball here, Jordan. And so anyway, guys, that dividend stock, what I'm doing is showing that anybody, listen to what I'm saying, anybody can start investing in dividend stocks to create long-term. It goes back to what we talked about before, D Nice, to have long-term investments, no get-rich-quick schemes or attempts. And so what we're doing is we're investing long-term. And what I'm going to do every month is show my dividend stock portfolio and the progress of it with that $25 a month. Now, there are some months where I'm going to add a little more to it, but when you watch the video, you're going to see the profit that I've made over the few years in there, and that it is profitable and it's doing well. And I started with $25 a month, and you'll see where it is now. I show how much money I've put in it. I've shown how much profit it's made. And so for that small amount of money, it's doing well. And all you can do is imagine, what if I would have put even more in it? The monthly dividend profits would be much larger. But it's going to be a great tool and example to show people not to be intimidated. And you'll see some of the stocks I invested in. Do research on stocks, good companies that give dividends. When you do your research, you're going to find some companies that they say they give back high returns, but the company might be a little bit shaky. And so you want good, stable companies. And I think one of them that I think I've invested in like Apple, Johnson & Johnson, and a few other companies, Coca-Cola, have been around for a while. You have some companies that give dividends monthly. You have some companies that give dividends quarterly. And so you'll see that in there. So you make money two ways, off the dividends, and as that company increases in value, those shares continue to grow in value as well. And so you make money two ways off those dividend stocks. Stocks almost always go up over time. Exactly. So you dollar cost average. So D Nice, have you started investing in dividend stocks yet? And so that's a yes or no. Have you started investing in dividend stocks? And also, when you get the dividends, what are you doing with them? And I'm hoping that you are reinvesting them back into the stock. But you may want to look at that video and set up an M1 Finance account and create your dividend portfolio in there and just allow it to grow. You're 26 years old. So by the time you turn 46, who knows how much you'll have in there. So I think you'll be interested in M1 Finance because you could literally put $5 a month in there. You could put $2 a month in there. You can set it up how you want it to. No, the returns are not too small for you right now. See, that's what I'm telling you. Let the returns start off small. Watch the video that I put in there. The returns were small and it's continuing to grow. Let your money work for you. And so, as we talk about financial independence today, well, yes, it's going to look different for everyone, and you have to set your goals. If you want $1 million in dividend stocks, start today with $5. Start today with $25. Start today with whatever extra you can afford to sit in there. Do $10 a month. If you do $10 a month, it is going to cause you to have to sacrifice or go without something. There's something that you can separate yourself from each month to accomplish those bigger goals. And so some of my goals, I have a lot of goals, financial goals when it comes to financial independence. One of my goals is, well, I did accomplish one of them last year. I wanted to be debt-free, pay off my mortgage. So I was able to pay off my mortgage, a 30-year amortized loan that should have lasted 30 years. I was able to pay it off in 3 years and 7 months. And of course, I did that through using a strategy called accelerated banking. So if you're interested in paying off your mortgage and you don't want to have a 30-year mortgage and you don't want to have to pay the bank, financial institution twice for your mortgage, reach out to me on YouTube or Facebook, and I can get you some information and connect you with the right people to learn that system as well. But I also want to make sure that my family is financially secure. So that's when we talk about financial independence, that's one of the things. I don't want my wife to have to worry about things when my wife hits a certain age and she wants to retire and she wants to be able to write books or be able to travel and see the world. I want to make sure we have enough passive income taking care of things. But when we talk about financial independence, and let me connect my laptop before the battery goes dead. When we talk about financial independence, one thing I want everyone to think about are things bigger than themselves. So when we talk about financial independence, eventually, and I know like some people are young, and so financial independence, your thought process of financial independence is just shaped around what you see around you, your personal space. And so eventually, as you mature, I want the thought process of financial independence to reach past you. In other words, your thought process of financial independence should eventually become bigger than you. What do I mean by that? Your definition and thought process of financial independence, are there goals to help other people? Are there bigger goals in mind that support and help your circle around you or people abroad, people who don't have opportunities that you now have that you potentially didn't have? Do you have financial goals that reach beyond your arm's reach to the point that situations and road bumps, speed blocks that you experienced in life, do you have bigger goals, financial independence that allow you to reach back and help those that potentially could not help themselves? Does anybody have any financial goals to help other people besides just themselves? I'm passionate as well, D Nice. When it comes to financial subjects, I love talking about stuff like this. That's good. I'm glad we were able to connect. And it's probably because of Jordan we were able to connect. And so I do see where you put stocks almost always go up over time. We read that about dollar cost averaging. Does anybody have financial goals that are broader than themselves? Let's see, you do options trading. So I'm not going to use capital I got to sit in an account making 5% a year. I'm 100% on the same page with you, but I day trade, so I want to wait till I can make money consistently. Then invest profits from there into dividend portfolios type thing. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you do have a plan of action, but I do think you could do both. I think you could potentially do both. I think you could do your options and do your investing in dividends. And so now you have diversified your investing portfolio. So it's not just limited to one thing. And so you can still grow while you're investing and still grow, have slow growth and have fast growth as well. Yes, your whole mindset shifts once you had kids. Same thing here. My mindset shifted as well. And so, yeah, you could do both. Just look at it. Like I said, once again, go through, evaluate your budget. You know, one of the easiest ways to find out how to free up space in your budget is to find out and look at all your habits. Some habits are good, some habits are bad. And so if you look at your habits, like some people, their habit is they got to have coffee every morning. So they may go without coffee once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, 4 times a month. And then now that's an extra $10 to $20 they have every month to invest in dividend stocks. And so one thing that I tell everyone to help you with financial independence is look at your habits, whether good or bad, and find out if there's a day or two you can go without that habit to create more opportunity for you to have cash flow. And so that will help you with financial independence. Always look at your habits. Another one of my goals that are bigger than me is in a country in Africa called Cameroon. So in Cameroon, I definitely am in the process and continue to work on leaving a legacy there. When we talk about financial independence, there are people there that are less fortunate, that cannot help themselves and need opportunities. And I just continue to pray that I have financial independence so that I can help them out as I leave a legacy there. There's an orphanage in the Ivory Coast that I help out and donate to as well. So my financial independence mindset is bigger than just me, but it is for other people. There are like 100 children in that orphanage in the Ivory Coast. And so donating and being able to give there when I have free time, I love financial independence because it allows me that right to help those people that could not do it or get any help unless people give and donate. In Cameroon, eventually, long term, I do want to build a school in Cameroon. And so, being able to build that school in Cameroon, there's a lot of pluses with that because in that school, in that environment, I'll be able to teach the things that I believe are important for kids to learn. And so, when you can teach kids things that they need to learn. One of the important things I'm going to make sure is taught in that school is financial independence. So when we have these people that are less fortunate, that go without food sometimes, that are literally, eating soup and leaves for days on days, I want to show them how to be independent so that they can have their own, create their own, and have the knowledge. And so once they do that, where my arms can't reach, they'll be able to reach back. That next generation will be able to do the same thing as well. And so there's a few things that we've done in Cameroon already: feeding people, clothing people, build a church in Cameroon. And so those things will continue to grow. But what I really would like is a school because, yes, we're helping people spiritually with their mindset and their spiritual growth, but I also want to help people mentally with their mental growth and education. And I think that's where we'll be able to make a big difference in certain parts of Cameroon as well. And so let's see, diversification is important. Okay, you bought some silver as well. And yes, to have more conservative hand in the market. Yes, because options trading is definitely risky. That's my point. Do both. And you'll be happy that you did both because when options is going up and down, you'll be able to look at your dividend portfolio and say, "Shoo, okay, good decision. Slow and steady is winning the race." Okay, D Nice, you looked at your habits. You haven't smoked or drank in almost a year, so that definitely freed up some capital you could use to invest 100%. Because a fifth of Grey Goose and all those other things, and I don't know what people drink now, but when I was younger, I did. But it wasted a lot of money buying beer and things like that. Uh, when you look at spending $30 to $40 or $50 on a fifth of something, you just wasted a bunch of money. It's interesting, and nothing against anybody who does drink, but I will say this: before you buy the drink and you have debt, try your best to get rid of the debt. And what's funny is, who knows? Some people might drink because of the debt. You get rid of the debt, you might stop drinking. Who knows? Anyway, look at those habits and make those adjustments. I'm not here to judge anybody or point the finger at them, but I will tell you, if you look at your habits will cause, if you can find a break in them or stop them completely, it'll help solve a lot of your financial problems and goals. And that's because I'm speaking from experience, and that's why I'm not to necessarily point the finger at anybody, but I'm telling you some of the things I had to do to improve my financial situation to get to financial independence. And so, even when you reach financial independence, guys, it doesn't mean you have to quit working. You could technically reach financial independence, have passive income coming in that covers all your expenses, and you still have work that you can do. But you can be creative in the work you decide to do, whether it's a 9 to 5 environment, or whether you're self-employed, or whether you create a business and you're managing it from a distance. So uh, you don't have to quit working once you reach a level of financial independence. And when you're trying to reach financial independence, you are going to experience uh, tough decisions. You're going to have to make uncomfortable decisions, and it's going to rub some people the wrong way. And sometimes, frankly, you're going to appear to be the bad guy. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that when you start making adjustments, you are going to rub some people the wrong way. But it's because you have to write down a plan. You have to make a list of action items of things that you need to do to have financial success. One of the things that I'm infamous about doing, I will get a board, I'll get a folder, whatever it is, binders, and I will write my goals. I'll write my plans in them. They usually aren't far away from me. And of course, I do like the color green. And so what I do is I get in that folder and I start writing down my plans. I start writing down what my goals are and what I'm trying to do. That is amazing. D Night says, my trading has improved dramatically since I stopped drinking and smoking, also mentally and emotionally. That's awesome, man. That is powerful. And you probably become more productive and can get a lot more done, thinking with a clearer mind and being more strategic in what you're trying to do. Time management is probably improved as well. So that's an awesome testimony that you have there. Man, that's amazing. I like that. Makes me want to take a picture of that or something. So, man, I'm proud of you. At 26 years old, to have that accomplishment is nothing to sneeze at. That's no joke. You definitely should be proud of that. It takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of discipline, because at 26, a lot of people around you are not there and have not reached that level of discipline. And so for you to be able to do that is huge. And so, like I said, definitely congratulations to you. Um, that's just as good as getting a trophy. So you understand how much money that you're putting back in your pocket. And he says, most definitely, if not emotionally stable, your decision is going to be affected. Yes. What was causing me to make impulsive decisions, making me take unnecessary losses? It sure will. It sure will. And it can mess up your family dynamic. And what you have to do, especially with kids now, financially, you have those responsibilities to take care of them, but kids catch on quick. They catch on very quick to what your habits are and what you're doing. And so, kids will start watching what dad is doing. And so when they're watching what dad is doing, you don't want them to pick up certain habits. And so kids will pick up certain habits as well. And when they pick up those habits and you see them doing similar things that you're doing or start asking questions about it, and they said, "Oh, what is that? Oh, can I have some?" And you're like, "No." And you realize you're telling them no, but it feels a little hypocritical. But anyway, stopping those habits, put more money back in your pocket, allows you to have more money to do more trading and also build up that dividend stock as well. And so someone else, D Nice, said, "Congratulations to you as well." And so it's so interesting as we come together and talk about financial literacy. You have no idea who you're going to motivate. You have no idea who you're going to inspire in this journey, and that's why we have to build a team. That's why we have to come together when it comes to financial literacy. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook Live. D Nice is talking about how he quit drinking, how he quit smoking, and the benefits of that for him mentally and emotionally. But we don't know who he's inspiring out there who needs to hear this. The thing that he is saying, we don't know who else is hearing this, and it's going to inspire them and motivate them, whether they're 26 or whether they're 46, whether they're 70 years old. It may cause someone else to bring about a change in their life so that they can experience financial independence as well. So we all have a role to play. And of course, I am Coach Steele, and I do believe I call myself the financial voice of the people. So as we assemble this team together, as we continue to come together, you never know what role you have to play on the court. You never know what route you may have to run on the field that is going to help the team win. And so D Nice just played his role today, and I know it's going to affect someone else. It's going to inspire someone else. When you get around a bunch of other positive people that have the same goals, it moves everyone. It motivates everyone to want to have success. And when it comes to reaching financial independence, you have to be willing to make the tough decisions in life. You have to be willing to make the uncomfortable decisions and the uncomfortable sacrifices at times. It's going to cause for that. And sometimes it'll rub people the wrong way. Just recently, the past few months, I've had to make tough decisions when it comes to real estate and when it comes to my business. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. For my business, for my investments in real estates to continue to have success, I had to make uncomfortable decisions. I have tenants that I love in my properties that I've built relationships with. And although when it comes to real estate investing, many people would advise you not to build relationships with your tenants, stay disconnected best as possible. And I understand that as well. But I also have a role to play in certain people's lives. I have certain things I like to leave with people. And when it comes to tough decisions in reaching your financial independence, I'll give a personal example that is very fresh and still kind of dear to me right now. So a few of my properties, didn't have a choice. I had to increase the cost of the rent monthly. And part of the reason why I had to increase the rent, one, was because property taxes went up in my area. Well, property taxes are going up all over in America, throughout the country. And so because the cost of living and because property taxes have gone up, to make sure I cover the cost to be able to maintain the property, be able to maintain repairs on the properties, I had to increase the rent. And some of my properties, I had not increased the rent for a while, for years. But this year, I couldn't afford to do it anymore. And I had to raise the prices. And then I had to let my tenants know, which made them uncomfortable as well. And so there's some pros and cons to that, and I'll get into them maybe in another time. But I had a tough conversation with those tenants, and they understood completely why Coach Steele had to raise the rent. Of course, if anybody's just now tuning in, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment as we talk about financial independence on the 4th of July, Independence Day. And so I don't want people to just celebrate a day, but not necessarily feel independent, especially financial. I am the financial voice of the people, the average person, because we are all one. And some people are so far disconnected and so far removed from the average American. I want to make sure that I give us a platform so we can have realistic goals, realistic expectations to get to where we're trying to go. So we are definitely on a journey. And as you tune in and listen in, for some people, it is going to it's going to appear that I'm talking on a lower level of things, but you're going to find a wide range of information talking on a lower level and on a higher level of financial literacy. But what I'm not going to do is talk so much that I speak over the average person's head and they can't make success. And so I am here for people that eventually want to become millionaires and multimillionaires. And if the millionaires and multimillionaires want to tune in, that's great. We can break bread as well. But I'm here for the average American that's trying not to struggle and live paycheck to paycheck. D Nice, I'm only going to be on here live for maybe about 7 more minutes. I'm getting off at the top of the hour, 11 a.m. Eastern time zone. So actually, I got about 6 minutes left and I'm going to get off, but I have to, otherwise I'm going to get in trouble with my wife because she said I have to take her to the Cheesecake Factory today. So I'll be going to the Cheesecake Factory and spending money because I am financially independent. And of course, you don't have to be financially independent to go to the Cheesecake Factory, but I do have to go in about 6 minutes because I have to take her and we have reservations. So with my last 5 minutes, let's tell everyone is you need to start researching. Whatever your goals are, you know, I want to have a school in Cameroon. I want to be able to feed the hungry. Well, that doesn't just happen overnight. So what I'm telling you, if you want investment properties, if you want to invest in real estate, if you want to have dividend stocks, start doing the research. And the reason why I'm mentioning research is because research and homework is important because research and homework is going to help you and save you from making tons of mistakes. And I could go into a list of mistakes, but I don't have time. I'll do another thing about that. But do your research and do your homework so you don't make as many mistakes. And keep in mind, as you're doing research, whether it's on good dividend stocks, whether it's on investing in single family homes, whether it's investing in multifamily unit properties, whether it's investing in other businesses and doing other investments with slow burning fuel and things like that. As you go through that process, research and homework sometimes cost money. So be willing to invest in yourself. If you want true financial independence, be willing to invest in mentorship, be willing to invest in guidance, be willing to invest in good platforms where you can gather quality, reliable information that will help you make solid decisions. And so even when I invest in real estate, I always have my inspector. That inspector, I have to invest in an inspector. I want him to check that house top to bottom. I want him to make sure and find if there's any holes or any gaps in there. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are going to have a good time, and I'm definitely going to come back with some cheesecake. We usually go overboard. It's probably like we're coming back with 6 or 7 cheesecakes. It's ridiculous. Can't even eat them all. They sit in the refrigerator. And so make sure you do your research and on that, because if you don't do your research and you just rush into investments, you're definitely going to lose money. You're taking a higher risk. I really want to talk about the subject of Jay Morrison and that TREF investing situation. I'll talk about that another time about Jay Morrison and Julian Gordon, because a lot of people invested in that investment with Jay Morrison and it's not going as well. Like I said, I could talk a lot about that. I invested a small amount of money in it, but there's a gentleman named Julian Gordon who invested a lot in it, and he's not happy. But that's that. We'll have that conversation another day about Jay Morrison and Julian Gordon. And I was actually in on a member call with both of them and a whole bunch of other people the other day. Very intense, very interesting conversation with Jay Morrison and Julian Gordon and what went down there. I didn't post or write anything about it, but I'm sure somebody on social media who has the tea probably put a lot of that information out that just happened at our members meeting with that. But everybody's goal is different. Get the education and the knowledge and the experience that you need so that you can make the right decisions when it comes to investing and reaching those personal dreams and goals. But if you don't write that stuff down and you don't do your research and you don't do your homework that's required to make sound and solid investments, you're going to take steps backwards. So don't rush to find get rich quick schemes. Slow and steady, compound interest. Uh, do things the right way and take your time and be patient, because you work too hard to just throw your money away with making doing bad ideas, not sound investments, rushing to make a quick dollar. D Nice, I'm going to go live again on Saturday morning, and I'm getting ready to go off right now. Saturday morning, I'm going to go live again, and it's going to be very similar to last Saturday's conversation, but slightly different. We're going to talk about a little more in depth about 401ks, what they were intended for. I do believe that there is a serious problem with people being able to have enough retirement income. And so whether you want to call it epidemic or pandemic, there's a retirement pandemic going on in America. People do not have enough. And so older people are trying their best to try to go back to work and find a way to make more income, because Social Security just isn't enough. I believe last year, the average Social Security that people received was around $1,900 a month. Who can live off of $1,900 a month? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So dividend stocks play a role in that on Saturday. So I'll go live on Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, to talk about retirement being possible in America and some other creative things we can do to be able to retire. And we'll dive in a little bit. Exactly. You get it. You understand exactly. There's a role that 401ks play in our lives, and we have to know the role to let it play and the other stuff that we have to do. That's fine. It'll be recorded and it'll be saved on YouTube and on Facebook. So you can always go back and watch it, D Nice, and I'll go back and check your thoughts and your comments as well. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I love each and every one of you all. Please continue to like, subscribe, and comment. I'm going to take everyone on a journey, and I'm going to be transparent with you along the way. So not only are we going to see the testimonies and the growth of each person that tunes in, but you're going to see the testimonies and the growth in my personal life as well, as I continue to share them with you. Be blessed and have an awesome Saturday. I'm going to the Cheesecake Factory.